All right, I got to start by asking how you been since your episode came out a few weeks ago.
I've been overall.
Yeah, well, it's related to the podcast, I guess.
All right. I mean, I'm quite happy put that out. Like, I talked a lot about what I feel could benefit people, and I did get some good reception, which I'm quite happy about. So, yeah, thank you very much, Jordan. I
That's
mean,
calm, man.
looking forward to do another one when I start working as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've been saying when we collect some more W's, episode 2 is gonna be a good one.
Of course, more W's needed first. Always fighting for W's, man. That's what we do.
Literally, man. Literally. All right. Let me get straight to it because we've got 25 minutes on the clock. I know we were talking to Sek about having a bit of a hybrid one. So I'm going to start by asking you why I asked Michael. Like, what's your experience with the friend zone, and have you ever made it out?
Okay, so I saw Michael's snippet earlier, and that killed me because I can really relate for that. He said what? He said he's been cousins on.
Yep.
Let me just say, I am. Yeah, I mean, his one is quite peak. But with me, I have been deep in the friend zone before. Not just one person, multiple people throughout my life. And yeah, I mean, a lot of it does come down to, I guess, like personality traits. I guess when I was younger, I was less confident. I was less like outgoing. I was more seen of like, well, I would say I still am, and that's a good thing, but more seen as like the nice guy, shy, all this stuff. So I guess that's why I would say, if Mark was the king of the friend zone, I would say, yeah, on par or just a level below, you know, like the prince. I'll take that. But yeah, I mean, the main thing that I saw and what I like when I like rewinded these events, it was down to my personality a lot. Like I changed a lot throughout my years, in terms of my confidence levels and just understanding how to talk to girls better, especially matured. So yeah, I would say, yeah, a lot of it is down to the personality traits anyway for me. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, back in my prime, my friend zone prime, it was a bit peak. It was very peak. And the thing is, yeah, man, I was a bit deluded as well. Like I used to think, okay, yeah, I'm in there, I have a shot, I'm speaking to this girl every day, all these things, but nah, it didn't work out like that. Obviously, but yeah, I mean, you live and you learn, man. Like that has helped me change my opinion of how to approach different situations with girls, and in terms of my first impressions with girls. And yeah, it has helped. I have reaped the dividends. I should say that. But yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, yeah,
market is up.
That's my experience anyway, and I think it was most prominent during like my college days where I was changing the most, where I was trying to find myself the most. That's when I developed the most in terms of my personality. So I would say it was most prominent back then when I was in sixth form. But yeah, as I said, you live and you learn, man. You live and you learn.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think, like, because you mentioned in your proper podcast episode that reading a lot has kind of shaped your mentality, would you say like you've read anything that kind of shaped your charisma and your like, what's the word for it? Like how you physically go about things as well? Is there any like confidence boosting things you've read?
Yeah, I mean, I did mention that book Outliers a lot during my podcast, but what that book essentially outlined to me, and the main message from that was like, like better than you think you are. You're lucky as fuck, like to get to this position. So be more confident in yourself and what you can achieve. So in that case, I guess it has like a spillover effect onto just my overall personality and charisma, and like just being more confident overall.
Mm.
Because I know I've achieved things that a lot of people in my position maybe might not have had, in terms of the same opportunities and just overall achievements, like relative to people from my like old school, like secondary school. So that did give me that kind of reassurance, like, yeah, you've done well up to this point. Like, why are you still shy? Why are you still nervous and shit? So yeah, I guess like that book really helps me in terms of just fixing up, making sure that I know what I've achieved and the significance of that. Other things, like another book I read was Phil Knight's Shoe Dog, the founder of Nike himself, and just
Mm.
the resilience this guy had. Like he went through so many things, and he had so many ups and downs. Nike was going to go bust at so many points. Like he was living in his office, doing crazy things. Like, oh, it was just his whole story is crazy, and I really respect it. And in terms of that, like the confidence he had in that brand and what it is now today, like it just shows like that amount of belief in something can achieve wonders. So I definitely brought that along, and that has definitely helped me in terms of just my overall mindset and on what I can achieve as a person as well. So yeah, I mean that has definitely helped a lot, overall, like in terms of my just shaping my personality, trying to find the different traits that will make me more successful in one way or another. So yeah, I guess that.
Yeah, that's cold, man. Because I feel like I learned a lot from watching interviews. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like post match or something, or like some random celebrity. It's like you can see these guys that are more charismatic, like using their hands more, or they're
Yeah,
like making more eye contact. I'm like, oh, maybe if I just do that, like there's gotta be some reason why these guys are so well like media trained and stuff.
yeah,
And yeah, charisma takes you a long way.
of course. And yeah, you do see that a lot. Like, just I think it was one time where I saw like um, I think it was in GCSE. We had to watch like different speakers and how they spoke and what we can learn from that, for spoken. I think it was a spoken word module, and just how to get a better mark by looking at how these big speakers use their different techniques on how to present what they're saying effectively. And yeah, I remember looking at the Obama speech, and I was just like mind blown because he was just so confident in what he was saying. Uh,
Mm.
so I definitely that does stick into my mind when I look back on who I believe are like really good public speakers, and I have definitely strived to emulate them in terms of just trying to be more, take different risks in terms of maybe presenting more, because I never had the opportunities to actually do public speaking as much, or debating, or presenting as much. But ever since ever since I guess I have read all these different things on how to put yourself out of your comfort zone to develop your skill sets and just trying to emulate different people, I've definitely have been putting myself more out there in terms of presentations, which I touched on in my podcast as well. But it's definitely a useful skill for sure. Like I'm definitely looking more. I'm looking more to actually developing this further down the line, because I know it will be essential for my career path. Um, just because of, well, the nature of my role, which will be coming up, is more of like a client interaction role, which means I definitely have to be more confident in what I'm saying, and things, making sure that what I'm saying makes sense and being confident in that. So that is definitely a skill I'm still looking to improve in, because I've never done full on public speaking before. Uh,
Mm.
so yeah, like just looking at different, as you said, interviews, um, looking at how all these big speakers speak and what techniques they use, definitely is something that I'm looking to do more and emulate as well.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Right.
I was thinking as well, like, because it's all good and well. I think an element of it is selling yourself, right? Like, how do you present yourself? How do you speak? But one thing that I feel like I've struggled with a bit, like more recently than not, would be like presenting yourself online, like in a digital space, because you can't use hand gestures on when you
Hmm.
text, or you can't like send a DM using with eye contact. Sorry,
Yeah.
how like in your limited experience,
Oh man. Yeah.
in the digital world, how do you think? Hmm, how do you go about maintaining your personality through the web, be it like a Zoom call or no, I don't know, like texting, emails.
Just saying, you don't know what you want to say. um, so in terms of, so I guess you're referring to something else, right? Like in terms of presenting yourself. So,
Yeah, we're keeping it vague today.
um, so like, hmm, my take on this. So there's different ways anyway that you're going to be more comfortable on like a Zoom call or FaceTime when you're talking to someone, because you can literally see each other. You know, you can express your personality a lot more. Um,
Mm,
they can see how you look like. You can see how they look like. You can see the interactions between you. So, in that sense, there's a big contrast of that and presenting yourself in like a different online format. So, say your social media account. Yeah, I mean, some people do base a lot of their personality on their social media. There's a lot of influencers out there. So I guess like you can present yourself in a way that people think that this is you within like your social media account, say Instagram, just by the types of different pictures that you put up, the way you interact with each other and your friends. Like people can gauge your personality from that, I guess. But when you're talking to someone online, so this is a different, I guess, a different context.
yeah.
This is a part where it's like quite hard because you can't express yourself fully, and sometimes uh, I say, you could adopt a different personality. Like, come on, everyone. This is like social media. People adopt different personalities, and when you're talking to people online, sometimes I've seen people anyway that have completely changed their personalities when they speak to people, and they're nowhere near like how they speak online in person. So it's quite hard to gauge how you can actually present yourself in that sphere when you're talking to someone online. But I guess I try to keep as real as possible in terms of how I speak. Um, I use emojis to just express my feelings at that point, but I don't try to act too differently from myself, like how I usually speak, like because I don't think, yeah, I don't think it's beneficial at all. Like I don't know, I don't have anything to hide in that sense. Um, so yeah, I literally keep my social media personality as what what I feel like what I am now. So I don't really try too hard to conceal my personality or change the way I speak. Yeah, like I always used to. I don't know. I don't know how people do it in terms of you see so many when you're reading different things. You see so many trolls online, and I just think, how the hell did they change their personality this much and have the balls to actually say outrageous things and very offensive things behind the screen with a non
Mm,
like how can I don't know, I just never had that in me. Like how can you actually do that and have the time to do that? I don't know. So that's my take on, I guess, people acting differently on social media. Like, I just never saw the point of that. Like you're just literally hiding what you feel like because yeah, these guys will never say those things in real life if you get me. So
yeah, yeah.
like yeah, I guess that's my take on people how you can actually portray your personality online and how some people might use social media to I guess, change their personalities and just the overall portrayal. So, yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like I've had a girl once tell me that like, how come you talk a lot online but not so much in person? But then I feel like you can you can text for 6 hours, and then when you read it back, you can read it back in 20 minutes or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Like I guess your perceived like understanding of a online is different to like you read things slower online than you do in real life, and I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Yeah, as you said, like you can literally get through your messages in 20 minutes. Um, another thing another problem that could stand out is like sometimes people interpret how you speak differently as well. Like they can interpret an emoji like a madness in their head, but with you, it's just it's just an emoji. Like it's just smiley face. But with them, I mean, we're all success. We're all like, we all have these thoughts as well. Like we've been guilty of that. Maybe misinterpreting people's way of speaking online. So yeah, I mean I guess that is like a limitation of speaking online on social media because you can't really see how the person is saying things and what they really mean about with what they're saying. So yeah, we've had many situations with that. I'm sure you have had too. So
Yeah, one too many.
exactly. Yeah.
Man, I find it interesting. I had a conversation with Ash a while back actually, and he was saying like, because I messaged a girl saying something that in my head made sense and it was fine. It's like a normal thing you'd say, but then the way it was perceived by her was, I guess progressive or like I was moving to her or something. And I mean, looking back, I kind of get it. But Ash's perspective was that there are certain things you can't say, you can't do without having that preliminary like relationship out like offline if you've like met up a certain number of times or you're within a similar friendship group or things like that. And yeah, I think it's a tough line because you can have like I feel like I'm quite charismatic and I've got quite a personality that you can like
Yeah.
I don't want to say love or hate, but it's quite obvious what type of person I am when you meet me. And then
Yeah.
I feel like when you don't mask that online in some ways, like it's very easy to perceive it in one way or another. And then yeah, I don't know. I think my mindset's a lot more like on Instagram, for example, where it's very photo based.
Yeah.
Whereas like I tweet a lot, but most people I talk to don't really use Twitter, so you don't really get that behind the scenes personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's difficult to present yourself in a just an image without really saying anything, and then try and convey that later with like 20 words and an emoji.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand you with that. Like, I don't use Twitter personally because I just, as I mentioned earlier, like the amount of like fake people online, it just annoys me. Just the fact that people can just hide their complete like, just completely change their personalities and just chat the most nonsense. And that is why I never went on Twitter because I just know I'll get really angry with that stuff, like really annoyed. Just because the amount of nonsense that people say and just I don't know. It just seems that it's really toxic anyway. But I do keep up with Twitter just because I just see the memes and it's quite funny. But in terms of actually making an account and getting involved with things, I just know there'll be so many like people I would just not agree with. And yeah, as I mentioned, like just the fact that people can completely change their personalities and just express the most wildest views just to just to get a reaction and troll people, it just annoys me. But as you said, like in terms of portraying your personality, I guess you can do that in that sense. Like in terms of Twitter, you can say what you want. But as again, you're limited because of the environment that, this is my perception anyway, the environment that Twitter creates in terms of different communities. Like some people just say the most wildest things just to get clout, um, just to get a reaction from people. And that's why I never jumped on it, just because I know I'll get really just aggravated because, yeah, I mean, some communities will think one thing. Well, I've been told this anyway. For example, there was this case. Well, it was recent about a girl that was trying to tell people how she's made six figures at 24 years old or something.
Okay.
And people just got onto her saying, "Oh, you're lying," all this stuff, and calling her. They went to call her workplace, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, this is just crazy toxic." And yeah, it's just mad because she's literally just trying to help people, and then people just getting onto her saying she's a liar, calling her workplace to verify, just harassing her. And it was a bit mad because she was literally just trying to help people in terms of giving them career advice and things. So that really annoyed me. And then it's just weird because my friend also said, like, a few of my friends also said, like, yeah, people think 50K is average on Twitter, but yeah, they're getting onto this girl. You know what I mean? Like, people have different kind of beliefs online as a community. So I was just like, oh my gosh. First of all, these guys will never, well, 99% of them won't make as much as her in that sense. If they're getting disaggravated, it just shows something. And yeah, it just really annoys me because you just get the most wildest views and people like literally defend it like mad. So I don't know. I mean, in terms, as you said, like you can portray your personality, but there's an extent to it. Like you don't want to get sucked in by all these. It is kind of like peer pressure as well on social media, I would say. Unlike Twitter, that's why I never really made it, just because I know I just wouldn't handle it well. There'll be constant arguments. We'll just get really annoyed. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's my takes on like portraying a personality on like Twitter in 20 characters.
Yeah, I get that. I find that funny actually, because I use Twitter a lot and I don't think I've ever been sucked into a specific community. But I hear that argument so often. I don't know. Maybe I don't follow the right people, but it's an interesting phenomenon for real.
No, I mean, I definitely have been a lot of times just to like to make Twitter and just follow the right accounts. But the thing is, you'll always see the replies, which is just full of trolls. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm really angry at that stuff. And so, yeah.
I remember on Twitter, we used to have like when you first make a Twitter account, they would assign you an egg as your like profile picture.
Really?
And I was like, all the trolls are always just people that still had eggs in their accounts. We used to call them like egg accounts because they just didn't put a picture up.
Yeah,
or to like just to troll.
It's annoying. Like, I don't know. I don't really rate people like that. I just imagine making a fake account just to say the most wild nonsense that you don't even believe in yourself. I don't know. I don't believe in that at all. It's just so stupid and pointless.
But, yeah, them ones, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
You gotta stay true to yourself.
Exactly.
Crazy. I think for the last, let's say, minute to 5 minutes, I want to ask you about how you handled your breakup through uni.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of people ask me, like, "Oh, that must have been real hard, man." But I want to get a second opinion on it.
Well, it only really happened like in the first semester, right? So, it wasn't too tough because obviously it was tough, but at the same time, it wasn't crazy as other people's breakups in terms of the effects on me. Just because I knew at that point, I guess in my personal relationship, I knew at that point, yeah, it wasn't working. So I did kind of accept it for a few weeks before. So I did kind of have that in my mind, like, yeah, it's going to happen eventually, you know this. So I guess I wasn't as affected as I could have been, which I'm grateful for because it was just before my exams. And so I guess I would say I handled it quite well just because of the fact that I did very well in my exams. And that kept me busy. And it gave me more time to, I guess, recover and just think things through and just and just reaffirm to myself, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong. Like, yeah, just making sure I don't blame myself at that point as well. So that definitely helps. Just the fact that I had exams and had things to focus on. Um, so it wasn't as bad as I guess other people's that I've talked to. But yeah, I mean, just I guess it's a lot of it was down to the fact that yeah, I knew for weeks that it won't work, especially with our personalities and the the underlying problem at that point. And yeah, I made sure that I reaffirmed that I was not in the wrong at all, even though that might sound a bit mad to many listeners at the moment. But I assure you, I was not. No, I assure you, I was not in the wrong. So that definitely helped a lot. um, just, and I'm a very reflective person in terms of when I'm wrong and when I'm right, and trying to find ways to improve myself all the time, as I've mentioned so many times. But yeah, in this case, for sure, like, yeah, I know for sure that I know what I did. I know that I did not do anything wrong. So it's just black and white at this point because I was accused of something I didn't do. And I know I didn't do that. And my friends know I don't do that, didn't do this. And so, yeah. So in that case, I guess it's more black and white and straightforward. Um, and that definitely helped me to, I guess, like heal quickly. Um, yeah, keep my mind off things. Yeah, and in that case, the exams definitely helped. The fact that I also was able to get more, as you said at the start, W's. I was able to like keep pushing on in terms of my career, getting my job, doing some internship interviews at that point as well. So things are going good, and I got good grades. So what can I? What there's nothing to complain about. So yeah,
Needed.
for sure.
Yeah, I very much mirror that. I think when I broke up with my ex, it was early January, just before exams as well. And
Yeah,
it's like, to be fair, I'm not a big advocate of like taking your mind off of things because I think you should always deal with your issues. But it's definitely good to maintain some sort of structure in life. And I think that's kind of similar now of like lockdown and that. If you
yeah,
can simulate just having stuff to do and then work on yourself in it simultaneously, it's always a plus.
yeah, for sure. Definitely. Like, yeah, this lockdown's been like it's been hard for everyone for sure, but just in terms of making sure that you still have a goal that you want to reach, maintain that focus as well. And once again, exams have saved me in that sense. I have something to work towards. I have something to work towards. I have something to focus on, and yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I finished in 2.5 weeks, and I still have my mind completely on that. So we'll see what happens after.
Trust me, man. It's funny how two guys that take the mick out of exams all the time are just like now saying, "Oh, like thank God for exams, man, keeping that mind straight."
Literally, literally, man. First year us or second year us? Nah. We're gonna piss out exams. Nah. I remember did it all night.
Lockdown was the first time I did past papers, man.
Literally, last year. Oh, man. No, we suppressed too much of our potential, man. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with this. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Something to keep my mind on.
Definitely, man. And it's something to help to make sure you keep learning along the way.
Of course, that's the most important thing for sure.
I want to ask you actually. We'll go into detail for in episode 2 anyway.
Sure.
But I know you've got a lot of people asking you for tips and advice and stuff since the episode came out. So I thought I'd say, what's one? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but if you could give one bit of like advice or one key tip for making the most of university, what would it be?
Hmm. Making the most out of university. Okay. That's a hard,
Only because I know you've got a lot of people asking you.
hard question for me now because of the position that, like, how I was in the first few years. But what I've learned as well can definitely help me shape this answer. But the most important thing is to, I guess, stay in touch with your main goal. Like, why? Just keep remembering, like, why are you here in the first place? Like, why do you want to achieve this? and making sure that you always stay in touch with that. For me, I lost that kind of focus because I wasn't as in touch with why I'm here in the first place. Like I never stayed in touch as much in my first few years of uni. So just remembering your motivations of why you have got up to this point and how important it is to carry on that journey in that sense.
Mad.
So
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I guess that's the main message. Like if I if I stayed in touch with that kind of side of my motivations, I definitely would have, I guess, been a lot more knowledgeable at this point anyway. So more focused on uni and maybe learning different things. But I'm definitely trying to make up for that. And yeah, I guess that's why I have been working as hard as I have, just to make up for the uni years I might have lost just because I wasn't as focused on my main goal and my motivations.